everyone, and welcome to another video. Celia would like to introduce you to a complete fool and a total twaddle dump who for some reason thought he'd call himself Peter Thompson. "Hello," she said. "You sent me a friend request." Because he had, and for once Celia thought she'd get him first. Our man, of course, had a copy and paste story to tell, and so he launched into it. "Thanks for the response. I will like to use this opportunity to tell you some more about me. My name is Peter Thompson, all one word. I'm 53 years old. I'm a widower. I live in Florida. I'm self-employed construction engineer. I seek LTR and do not mind a LDR to achieve this. Though the distance, I feel it's up to both of us to determine if we're gonna be or not. Sincere love doesn't count the miles. It's measured by the heart. If distance were measured in terms of the heart, we'd never be more than a minute apart. But hey, like I said, distance means so little when you love someone so much, and it's up to us to determine if we're going to be together or not, and it's worth a try. My goodness, as opening gambits go, how can a girl resist?" Celia, of course, wasn't impressed. "What?" she said. "You got 1 out of 3 things right." And she'll explain what she means in a minute. "So do you want to tell me which bits are true and which aren't? Please?" And she copied and pasted it just in case he deleted it. "I was once married to a loving, caring, honest and sincere woman until death came and took her away from me. I lost my wife 8 years ago. I have a daughter. She's 16 years. She's all I have for now. She's loving and intelligent like me." It's a good job she doesn't exist then, isn't it? "I have a kind heart, and I have a lot of love in my heart to give it to my beloved woman. I'm optimistic and do hope a day would come I would see a woman that will fill my life with sunny rays of happy family life. Though we have good and bad habits, we would have to share it together and accommodate each other. That way we would be inseparable. I will do my best to create warm, tender atmosphere and special coziness where one can feel comfortable. I like people that are free and express themselves easily." "Ah," said Celia, "I assume you can't read. That's sad." Because she'd asked him which bits of what he'd said before were true and which weren't. "What do you mean by that?" "Read," explained Celia, "equals understanding the meaning of words written on a page or screen, such as the ones I wrote to you." "I'm being sincere with you here. What do you mean?" "Irrelevant," said Celia, "so you can't read." "Shame." "My ambition is to inspire my beloved woman constantly, to help her to keep the balance between career and private life, just as she would also inspire me to do good." Who writes all this rubbish, and can you really imagine someone talking like that in real life? "Love is most paramount for me. I need a companion to share my life with, who wants to create a strong family." Celia cracked. "I was a mermaid under the deep blue azure green grey brown sea. I lost my physical form 28 years ago. I have a son. He's 30 years old, and he lives in Sydney in Australia. He's loving and intelligent like me, but it's a shame you're as thick as 2 very shortened pieces of wood. I am optimistic that one day I'll meet a man online who isn't a scamulating twaddle dump with the thinking capacity of a small slug." Of course I couldn't resist illustrating that, so I asked Copilot to draw me a picture of a slug with a speech bubble saying "I think, therefore I am." This was Copilot's picture, and Copilot was clearly feeling very pleased with itself, because underneath it typed, "Here it is, the philosophical slug in all its contemplative glory. I think, therefore I am. Spoken by a tiny speckled slug with tentacles raised like its mid-soliloquy." I don't think that's going to happen, but I do hope to meet a man who can read at a level greater than that of a kindergartner. Sadly, most of the men I meet online appear to share one communal brain cell, and if it isn't their turn to use that cell, most seem incapable of anything that might be considered relevant, thoughtful processing of the beans in the tins they bought in the local supermarket when they were on offer. Probably one of those bog-off deals, but they didn't realise Tony took 1 tin, thus depriving themselves of another tasty meal. I'd like to hear your views on the subject of alphabetti spaghetti. Should it be paired with a meaty spaghetti sauce, or is vegan the way to go with lots of tomatoes, onions and herbs, all served with a side salad made from lettuce, cold potatoes, and the tears of 1,000 scammers who haven't read a word I've said and wouldn't understand it if they did, which is just as well, because all of this ridiculousness that I write is meaningless anyway. Tell me, have you done much travelling? Yes, to a lot of countries. Ah, you can read short sentences, that's good. Yeah! I am for real, because I don't think I have time for playing games around, because it's very bad and sad when someone hurts another person's good feelings, and I don't think I'm here to do that, and I won't like that to happen to me also. Well, to my understanding, relationship can mean two things. One, it can mean that we have a connection which I think exists, because we've gotten to know each other better. Two, relationship also means to be romantically and sexually involved, and I think we're not at that level. You're too right there, pal. So I think, at this point, given the few amount of time we've emailed each other, we definitely have a friendship formed based on some external and internal similarities that are developing into a relationship that will bring us a little closer with good intentions, and the potential exists for the relationship to evolve into something more significant. And I pray and hope that what I'm thinking is right, because I won't like to be taken for granted. As you don't appear to have views on the serious topic of alphabetti spaghetti, perhaps we should talk about the walrus and the carpenter. They were walking hand in hand, as I'm sure you know, discussing serious topics, such as ships and shoes and sealing wax and cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. I've often wondered if pigs have wings, because if they don't, how can they fly? And I often see pink pigs flying around Facebook. I'm sure you do too. Understanding the deeper meaning of pig imagery is something I feel needs deeper study to bring greater understanding to all person kind, some kind, or just no kind. Any kind will do, as will any dream, but those words are possibly copyrighted and I wouldn't want the channel to run into trouble. By the way, what are your views on finding yourself with a starring role in a video on YouTube? It does happen, I find, which is weird, because I wasn't looking. But finders keepers, I always say, even if it makes no sense at all. Have you been scammed of online romance before? Said her man, starting to realise that maybe Celia wasn't making sense. Pardon? Could you keep doubting my integrity? Where did I say that? You've been doing that all along with me. Where? You keep playing tricks. I did ask if you can read, because you ignored what I asked, and have continued to ignore what I asked, so it's you that's playing tricks, isn't it? What's it you asked? Exactly, said Celia. You ignored me. Scroll back to the beginning and prove to me that you can read. He found you got one of three things right, and he said, which is? You tell me. Maybe they were all wrong. Celia, stop this. Excuse me. It was you that typed a paragraph full of lies, not me. I hate tricky stuffs. Why? Don't do this. I have no idea why you lied. Perhaps you'd care to explain. She said, copying and underlining where he'd said, I'm 53 years old, I live in Florida, I'm self-employed construction engineer. That's what you said. A max of two of those things are right, or your profile is full of lies. Either way, you lied, she said, copying from his profile, where he said he was born in December 1974. So telling me you're 53 is a lie, or you lied about your birthday. She copied where he'd said, intro, works as occupational therapist. Either saying you're an occupational therapist is a lie, or saying you're a construction engineer is a lie. Now, do you want to tell me why you've told me so many untruths? Guess what? No! You're getting it wrong here. And if you say I don't understand you, because we cross-posted, then I'll know that everything was a lie. Oh, you just said it, so now I know everything was a lie. So do you want to tell me something truthful, please? Let's start with where you live. Where do you really live? Please. I'm the kind of person that portray a different side of me on the internet for security reasons. I think you'll find it's you that's getting it wrong here. Not an answer. Where do you really live, please? Vancouver, Granville Island. So Florida was a lie twice, okay? Now tell me how old you really are, please. I was trying to get to know you better before anything. Well, I now know you are a pathological liar. How old are you really, please? 63 in November. OK, so both 53 and your birthday were lies. Now tell me what you really do for a living, please. This, he said, replying to when he'd said, I'm the kind of person that portray a different side of me on the internet for security reasons. That isn't an occupation. What do you really do for a living, please? Why do I have to ask you everything at least twice? Travel enthusiast and a football agent. OK, so occupational therapist and construction were both lies. Do you have children? Celia! You're being harsh on me right now. And in reply to her asking if he had children, he said, I don't. Assume that's a joke. You sent me a friend request and told me a pack of lies. So telling me you have a 16-year-old daughter was also a lie. Did you tell me anything that was real? We were going to get there with time. Stupid reply, said Celia. Just for security reasons. Did you tell me anything that was real? Irrelevant answer. OK, I apologise for everything, Celia. And watch out for this, ladies and gentlemen. Is the person that you're talking to online telling you the same story in the chat as they've told on their profile? If they haven't, just ask yourself who you might be talking to and why they might be telling a different story. Did you tell me anything that was real? Third time I've asked. He sent a thumbs down. You didn't. OK. Now tell me why you think I would want to talk to a man that sent me a friend request and told me about an entirely made-up fantasy life. I'm sorry. I'm sure you are, because now I won't believe anything you say. Please do. You're looking beautiful, by the way, if you say so. And that's another common tactic that the scammers use. Just try to change the subject when you challenge them. If they do that, just think about why they might be trying to change the subject. So you think you're a football agent. Is football popular in Canada? No. So you don't have much work. I told you I travel around sometimes. And in reply to her saying, so you don't have much work, he said, you can say that. I just did. I'm curious to know where on Granville Island you think you live. Or was that yet another untruth? I'll show you Granville Island. Here it is. Any Canadian viewers might be able to tell me if there's any residential property there, but as far as I can tell, it's a market and business premises. And so he gave the address of the public market on Granville Island. What? Oh, Celia? So you live on a market stall? How weird. Just a description of what, a shopping cart? So you get what I'm talking about? Yes, you live on a market stall, or you don't know what a market even is. Anyway, we both know it's just another one of your made-up fantasies. I'm still curious to know where you really live. Not Florida, and obviously not Vancouver. You're not good at telling stories. The Highland, Prince Albert Street, he said. The Highland appears to be this block of apartments. Is that true? Asked Celia, or another silly story? By the way, how do I know if you're ever telling the truth? Of course it's true! Why, of course, everything else has been made up. How do I know if you ever tell me the truth? Or should I just assume everything is made up? I told you the reason behind it. That isn't an answer. How do I know if you ever tell me the truth? Or should I just assume everything is made up? Not lying to you. How do I know if you ever tell me the truth? Or should I just assume everything is made up? So you're 100% certain that you live in the Highland and all the rest was made up. I know. Let's start again. Tell me about yourself, but this time, tell me the truth, please. I've just explained everything to you. Or what do you think? I think you told me so many made-up stories that I don't know what's real and what isn't. Which is why I said, let's start again. Start again and tell me about yourself properly, please, so I know for sure what's real. Or you could call me and tell me what's real, but I expect you can't do that for security reasons, because obviously the work of a football agent, I don't believe that, in a country that isn't interested in football is top secret. I'm here. Here is the thing. Sometimes I say some things to impress woman. I'm sorry. I thought you'd be impressed. I guess this is something else I'm going to have to ask for the third time. It's so boring. Start again and tell me about yourself properly, please, so I know for sure what's real. Just FYI, I don't believe you're a football agent either. All right, this is what I do. I have a my dear friend. I help people with their travels, which make me a travel agency. And I am a aspiring football agent. I have met a lot of people in the UK, and I know a lot about football. OK, you're a travel agent. Keep going. I help immigrants with their travels and with the experience I gathered from different countries, especially Africa countries. They have a lot of talents over there and no one to manage them or spending a dime to promote them. So you aren't a travel agent. So I've taken upon myself to do all this now and make a lot of money later if I eventually promote a good player and he becomes a superstar. None of that makes sense. Try again, please. I'm a travel agent and an aspiring football agent, believe it or not. So what's all that twaddle about helping immigrants? I don't believe it. Do you know what a travel agent does? Yes, I do. Are you bored? Asking a bunch of questions. Seems to be the act of bored people. Let me guess. You're not married, and this is typical scammer tactics. The gaslighting from an immature bully, trying to change the subject, and then become facetious and childish, and if necessary, trying to blame the victim. Telling a bunch of lies, parroted Celia, seems to be the act of lying scammers. Are you one? And don't be rude. Then tell me what all that nonsense about immigrants was about, please, she said in reply to him saying he did know what a travel agent does. Calling me a scammer is rude, likewise. Contacting random women and telling a total bunch of fabrications is the act of bored people. Now you go first, said our man, who's about to start showing his true colours, puerile and about 17. So far, you have been one, she said in reply to him saying calling me a scammer is rude. You haven't told me anything true. That's called scamming, telling a bunch of untruths. So you don't even know what I meant. So obviously that was also untrue. I did ask you to start again and tell me the truth. Please do that and stop telling me such obvious fibs. It's the act of a bored person and a scammer. Are you married? If I was a scammer, as you claimed, so why are you still texting me? Oh, you have no idea, pal. I assume that you're joking if you think I'm going to give you a proper answer to anything, since you've yet to tell me one thing that's real. Look, Celia, I'm just here to make friends. If you're not interested, just let me know. Millions more are out there. Sadly, that bit is true. Your idea of making friends is to tell lies after untruth, after fabrication, after story. That isn't my idea of a friend. What is your idea of friend? So you have one last chance to be honest. Use it wisely and think before you answer. Please tell me, honestly, who you are, where you are, and what you do, assuming you know what truth or honesty means. This really is your last chance, so use it wisely and stop trying to change the subject. Tell me who you really are, where you really are, what you really do, how old you really are. No more silly stories. Name, Peter Thompson. Age, 63 by November. Origin, Canada. Language, English. Occupation, travel agents. Status, single. Exactly what you'd say, obviously. Does this help? I don't know what exactly you want me to say again, Mrs. Celia. If it's true. It is. But I don't believe the bit about travel agent. Why not? Because of all that twaddle you typed before. What does Origin Canada mean, please? Nationality. Language English. Weird irrelevant thing to say, because I never asked. But I'll ask now. What is your first language? English, I will say. I'm not interested in what you'll say. I'd like to know what it really is, please. English. What about you? If you say so. So we'll assume that what you've said this time is the truth, as in genuine, real and honest. I assume that's a joke, in reply to him saying, what about you? Yes, it is true. Don't make this about me only. Let's get to know each other. Excuse me? It's you that spent the last 2 hours lying to me, in reply to him saying, don't make this about me only. Don't try and blame me. I dislike liars, and I dislike gaslighters who try to make their falsehoods someone else's fault. I will, of course, be following your example, so you'll have to guess which things I say are real and which are just fantasy. Could be fun. Okay, bring it on, sweetheart, said our man, reverting to his true type. Tell me your lies if I guess you're lying. Promise me you will talk to me longer. Which lies do you want to hear? Everything. Your job. Please don't tell me you're a gym instructor. That lie is going to be obvious. Okay, I'm 76. I'm a retired brain surgeon working with the UN in Syria, saving the lives of British soldiers. I have 3 sons who are all married to Australian bodybuilders. I live in Downing Street in London. Now I see why you're actually messing with my brain. But the bodybuilders. Oh, you have a brain? That should be a lie. Yes, I do. Maybe you should try using it. I have a brain? Do you talk to people without brain? I thought I was doing that. Then we're brainless. I love that. Something in common. You've certainly been acting brainless. So what do you actually do? So she quoted where he'd said, I'm being sincere with you here, copying one of your answers. Copying an answer of a brainless human. I don't want to say that's an act of being brainless also, but let's forget about the brainless issue. Let's focus on the brainy part. So tell me, what do you actually do? That's what brain surgeons do, she said. Reply to him saying, let's focus on the brainy part. Yes! Tell me what you like about me, sweetie. You texted me first, remember? You sent me a friend request, remember? I was just being polite. And in reply to him saying, tell me what you like about me, sweetie, she predictably said, nothing. By the way, how many of you are there? Because the illiterate moron I was talking to at the start has now magically started typing in proper English. So there are at least 2 of you. Now your turn, ask me what I like about you. I couldn't give the flying twaddle fart, but you could tell me how many of you there are. Do you want me to tell you? Why do you think I asked? But you have to tell me something first. No, I don't. Tell me you like me. I don't like you. Or your mate. I'll gladly tell anything. I doubt it. Just do it for the answer, Celia. Peter. Celia. I guess there are at least 3 of you. 1 is typing, and the other 2 are laughing their heads off. Best romantic text ever, sweetheart. I'm doing everything just by myself. No, you aren't. Typing and laughing. We both know that isn't true. I know. I'll call you. Let's see if you're man enough to answer. Now you want us on the same page, aren't you, speaking lovey? You shy? So she tried calling him. Too cowardly to answer? Wonder why? Afraid I'll hear your non-Canadian accent? Afraid I'll hear you can't speak English properly? And so, he called her. Hello?
Hello.
You've decided you will speak.
What do you say?
Exactly. I said you've decided you will speak.
Yeah?
Yeah. How many of you are there?
Just me?
No, I don't believe that. You're not the same person I was talking to before. He could barely speak English.
What made you think that? I switched my brain.
Say that again.
I switched my brain.
You switched your brain. Yeah. You switched a lot of yourself for someone else. How many of you are there?
Just me?
Just you, if you say so. Where are you really?
So I'm in Canada, but currently I'm in Italy.
No, you think you've got a Canadian accent, do you?
What is it?
Exactly. You think you have a Canadian accent, do you?
What English do you speak?
I assume that means no. You realise you don't have a Canadian accent.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What English do you speak?
That's
Scottish?
That's irrelevant. Do you think you have a Canadian accent?
Yeah.
You think you sound Canadian. Have you ever been to Canada? Do you know what people in Canada sound like?
Like I sound?
No. Okay. So you agree you've never been to Canada. Do you not think that pretending you've been to Canada when you haven't is a bit stupid?
You say I'm stupid?
Well, you are if you're going to pretend that you know what a Canadian accent sounds like. There's your mate. You see, there's your mate. I knew there was more than one of you. And you can take me off speakerphone, please.
I wanted to speak to you for not, But the way you speak it to me rudely.
I can't hear you.
I don't like that.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And please take me off speakerphone.
English do you speak exactly?
I didn't hear that.
What English do you speak exactly? What English?
Well, where do you think are you really that stupid that you don't even know an English accent when you hear one?
I'm literally just loving you.
Yeah. So let me speak to your mate, the one I was talking to at first. You know, the one that can't even type anything sensible in English.
I'm Ghana mate. He's mate.
Did you say Ghana? I was thinking because you're not Nigerian, are you?
I'm not in Nigeria, bro.
No, are you from Ghana? You are, aren't you?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you understand very well. Are you all from Ghana?
What's of Ghana?
You are from Ghana. I thought so. I don't think you've quite got a Nigerian accent, so we'll assume that you're from Ghana, in the absence of any evidence to the contrary, assuming you know what that means. Where are you in Ghana? Are you in Accra? If you say, have you been to Ghana before, then I will know that I was right.
No, I've been to Ghana. What's Ghana?
Right, so I was right, you are from Ghana. Where are you in Ghana?
It's not crazy enough.
That's not an answer. I don't think there's a place in Ghana called that. Gotcha, said Celia, totally incorrectly, as you'll find out in a minute. I guess you're in Accra. What's so Ghana? He said. Sorry, I don't know what that means. I could be wrong. You might be in Lagos. Lagos? That's Africa. Random statement for a travel agent, said Celia. Last time I looked, Africa was an entire continent. Is this the sort of thing you do as a travel agent? She said, sending him one of those dodgy tracking links. Yes, I know. Africa is a continent. Lagos is in Africa. Nigeria, precisely. Stupid statement, she said, in reply to him saying Lagos is in Africa. You're quite aggressive, right? You're totally brainless, right? Not really. You still haven't told me if this is what you do as a travel agent, she said. Will I have to ask 3 times? Resending the link. What do you want me to say again? Yes, I am. I'd like you to answer the question, but I'll ask for the 3rd time. As usual. Resending the link. Is this what you do? Do you need a boyfriend like me? So smart? You mean brainless, illiterate twaddle-dump? Please tell me if this is what you do. 4th time. It took a bit of persuading, but finally, of course, our man tapped on the link. And this is where he was. Lagos in Nigeria. Victoria Island Annex. If that's the kind of man you like, he continued, I can be the man. I do anything for love. I doubt it. Celia, you're just a baby with a small appendage. Do you want to see? He offered. Hopefully. No thanks, Cecilia. Afraid that he might be sending us something non-YouTube friendly. Bye-bye, baby, from Lagos. Now are interested in my appendage. At which point Celia blocked him to save having to add anything non-YouTube friendly to the video. And so that was the end of Peter Thompson. Some of them are just such babies, aren't they? They really are. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. If you enjoyed this daft tale, you know what to do. Please like it. Please share it. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you again in another video. And remember, these are actual genuine conversations that took place.